Hi! Welcome to Rhea Reads. I'm Rhea and this is my booktube channel. So today I wanted to make my first booktube video and I thought what better way to start than with the booktube newbie tag. So yeah. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? And I have been watching booktube for 10 years, which I'm not that old. But I just been watching Paul Bananas books forever, and I started watching her and I started watching a bunch of other people. I really have always loved the community. I always get all my book recommendations from booktube. 2.5 years ago I started a bookstagram, but to be honest, I don't love taking photos of books and I don't love the format. I always felt like booktube was the better format for me. I just didn't know how to start. But with New Year's and everything, I thought I'd give it a try. I started my booktube channel because one of my friends did, who casually read, and I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. And I love talking about books. I love giving recommendations. I love ranting about books. So I really hope I can inspire you guys to pick up a book I've talked about. So what are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? I think the most unique thing I have, compared to what I've seen a lot on Bookstagram and booktube, is that I don't buy a lot of books. I get all my books from the library, or I borrow them from people, or the ebooks or something. The only time I buy a book is because it's a book I've loved. Another unique thing about me is that I grew up watching booktube, so I feel like I've seen all the eras. One of the reasons I want to start this channel is because I like talking about books that I don't necessarily see people talk about. Like I love the Land of Stories, and I have since I was a kid, and I've always wanted to watch a YouTube channel where people talk about the Land of Stories, and I have, so I will be that for you, don't worry. What are you most excited for about this new channel? I've talked about this already, but I just love talking about books. I love getting to rant about them, and I have ranted about them into my Bookstagram, but now I get to do it in verbally, which I feel like I do a lot better. Why do I love reading? And it's pretty simple. I started reading when I was young, and I never stopped for a couple of reasons. Because one, it was free. Like I've said, I use the library. Like a lot of hobbies that kids do are not cheap, but like library is free. And knowledge, you get knowledge. Everybody sees like a kid read, they're like, oh my god, they're so smart. I love reading about new perspectives and changing my limited perspective and learning about the world. It's for escapism too. Like I remember people would be so confused why I read in high school, and it's escapism, just plain and simple. Like I did not want to be in this world. What questions did you ask your favorite booktubers? I don't really have specific questions, to be honest. I just want to like talk to people. I think it's so cool. Like on Bookstagram, I consider like a lot of people, I consider them friends. I've never met them, but like I consider them friends, and we have conversations about books, not about books, and it just really feels like I have a community to like ask questions and learn from. And I just ask booktubers probably what tips they have for beginning booktubers. What challenges do you think starting a book channel will be the hardest to overcome? I have a busy life, so I want to say this is going to be consistent, but I don't know. But the challenges, I think, are definitely just this setup and learning how to edit and really getting the business side of things. Like I feel like I can talk to a camera okay, but really just like editing, promoting a video, connecting with you guys, it's not easy. I started reading my whole life, and I guess I truly start like I honestly had like reading comprehension problems. Like I would read books, but I could not tell you what they were about. Like I remember this experience when I was reading But Not Buddy in elementary school. I would like read chapters and I would not remember what they were about. But also that year I read Wonder, and that truly changed my life. That book got me into reading. Another book I read shortly after that was Land of Stories, which also changed my life. Oh, where do I read? I like reading at the end of the day. Like after I do my routine or whatever I have to do in the day, I sit down, read, have my music in, and read, and like it just transports me into another world. What kind of books do I like to read? I would say I primarily read like contemporary, romance, literary fiction, and I'm gonna be honest, that kind of hurts my heart because I used to be so into YA fantasy and sci-fi and everything, and I still love fantasy and sci-fi, but adult fantasy and sci-fi is a lot more intense, so I find that I need to read a lot more books in between them. But to be honest, I will read pretty much anything except for horror. And I just don't enjoy feeling that like dread and like fear. I don't enjoy that. Anything else I'm getting game for. And then what does my book collection look like? I can show you guys a picture. I honestly couldn't tell you how many library books I check out in a year, but whatever it is, it should be more, and you should be checking out books in your library too. And then also, other than that, I read ebooks. I do the occasional audiobook, but like it's not necessarily for me. And I'm just gonna talk about my reading goals for 2025. I know it's end of January, but it's still the beginning of the year, so let's get into it. I read 109 books last year, and I'm super proud of that. But to be honest, it wasn't an amazing reading year because I was trying out so many different genres and so many things that I'm not used to that I couldn't really fully be immersed in anything. I'm so proud of myself that I tried out so many new things. But definitely this year, I think I want to reel back from that and just enjoy it. I'm reading a little bit more. I'm honestly kind of debating on what my TBR is between reading something that's just like hard that I might not necessarily enjoy as much versus something that's like easy but it's not going to challenge me. It depends on like how tired I am and everything. And they both have their merits. Like, I don't have any goals for numbers until June, and then I kind of decide based on how the year's going. But I always require myself to read 2 books a month, and then one of them has to be a new book. I used to try to read as much as I can, but to be honest, I kind of want to get into more hobbies, and that kind of kills me because I love reading and I love learning more. So the fact that if I could read a book and instead I'd choose to do something else and not learn kind of kills me. But I have hobbies that I want to get into, and I also want to do this booktube channel, which I assume is going to take away from my reading time. You would think it would completely take away my reading time, but my bookstagram is such a good thing for me because it really inspires me to read. I hope this booktube channel can do a similar thing. So thank you guys so much for watching my first video. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below what you want to see from me, and any questions you have. I'm really excited to be joining this community, and I can't believe that I'm actually gonna do it. Only took 10 years.